Hello and welcome to Season 2 of Livin La Liga Loca.
Your first and only source of news for La Primera Liga Bautista Hispana.
We've got a great show coming up for you, previewing the whole season, but before we jump into that, we have a quick edition of the Commish Dish. Take it away, Kurt. Hey, Kurt here, your favorite commissioner and also reigning champion. Just wanted to provide one clarification for our keepers rules. As you know, we are now a keepers league. At the end of this season, we will be picking one player who is on our roster, who is drafted in the third round or later, and who is not a goalie to keep for any following season we choose to keep them for. Now, the clarification I want to add is just because you drafted a player in the third round or later does not mean you are able to keep that player. In order to keep a player, that player must be on your roster when the postseason ends. So, for example, Cheo drafted Roman Josi in the third round. If Cheo trades Roman Josi at any point in the season and then ends the postseason without Roman Josi on his roster, Cheo cannot keep Roman Josi. He is not his player anymore. Vice versa, if someone were to trade for Roman Josi and then that player finished the season with Roman Josi on their roster, that player can now keep Roman Josi for a third rounder in all future seasons. One final clarification, you do not have to keep a player drafted in the third round. You may keep any player drafted in the third round or later. And in any future draft, you will forfeit whatever round you drafted your keeper in. For example, I drafted the wonderful and glorious Ivan Demidov in round 12. If I keep him, which I will, in any future draft, I will not have a 12th round pick. I will instead have Ivan Demidov. I hope this is a great clarification for you. Good luck this season. Stay sharp. Back to you, Kurt. Thanks, Kurt. Now, we're going to jump right into it here with some bold predictions. This is season 2. The predictions are bolder. The predictions are more accurate. The news is truer.
Oh.
We've really upped our game here.
Oh, definitely.
Microphones by Armando.
Oh yeah, thank you. Sponsor.
So, you want a replacement gig for when one of the hosts is sick? Just pay for the show. That's how you get on,
Just
folks.
buy them a couple mics, you know.
So, we're going to make some bold predictions here as to who we think is going to make the playoffs this year.
Yeah.
So, I'll go ahead and start here. I have written here. I really thought this through for about a minute, and
whole 60 seconds.
What I have here. Armando, you tell me what you think of this. I'm pretty set on 1, 2.
Okay.
The order. After that, the other 4 are going to be whatever order they're in.
I think I agree as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I have you finishing first this season.
Oh, thank you. Okay.
Followed by Lesser David.
Okay.
Okay.
2 solid teams.
Yep. Third, I have Ben.
Okay.
I mean, the guy's made finals twice in a row. You got to give him his due.
And he also drafted a very decent team. So
Solid
got to give it
draft.
to him. Yeah.
Solid draft. Then, number 4, I have Jason. Of course, he's going to make it. I think he's a staple. He's what you expect.
Okay.
Then 5th, I have, maybe this is a surprise prediction for someone, but I think someone who drafted incredibly well, sneakily good draft, which is Joshua, coming in at 5. Okay. All right. Now, number 6 was the only thing, I said I thought about it for about 60 seconds. About 50 of those seconds were thinking about who number 6 is. And, I'm looking at the league and I'm thinking, man, Better David has a pretty solid squad. George had a solid draft, but decent. I was just thinking, until one of them proves they can do it, it's just really hard for me to predict them to be in the playoffs.
Okay,
and so
that's fair.
For the 6th and final spot, I have a return to playoffs for Cheo.
Oh, okay.
I think he's
Cheo's
making
coming
it back.
back.
Now,
Alphas are showing up again.
There is an asterisk there,
okay,
which is that he drafted 2 rather injury-prone stars in Connor McDavid and Jack Hughes.
Yeah,
and
that is very true.
If either one of those injury-prone stars gets an injury, I think he is in trouble immediately.
Yeah.
But
those are definitely his 2 strongest players, so losing them would be detrimental to his success.
But those are my predictions. Armando, what have you got for us?
Okay.
Tell the folks at home what you got.
I've got a few things. Now, for first and second, I couldn't decide. Obviously, I think there's a general consensus as to who is going to be first and who's going to be second. I didn't want to say either one, but I think it's going to be either myself or Lesser David. Obviously, we just had so much more drafting capital, right? So many more options that we could just take. He got some really high-level players due to the fact that the other members of this league just don't know how to draft or use a computer, apparently. So I believe that both of us are going to be at the top. Probably we're already seeing the two people that are going to be on the bye week.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And I think you two coming in with the draft capital you had, you're definitely the two favorites.
Yeah,
there's just
100%.
no question. Yeah.
It's just we have too many monsters on our team to fail. Now, if we don't make playoffs, it'll be just that much more embarrassing for the both of us, and just so much more trash they can talk to us.
That would be catastrophic.
Yes.
Truly, if you did not even make playoffs with the draft you had, catastrophic.
Catastrophically hilarious, I would say. Now, third, I think we're the same here. I believe Ben's making another appearance. The dude is just too good at management. He's too good at drafting. He keeps consistently picking up and dropping players he needs to. Never what he shouldn't. He just makes the right decision, you know? So I got Ben at third. Now, like you said, the other three are kind of a toss-up. So I'm going for a belief system here. I believe in people this time, okay? People who haven't seen playoffs, not since last season. Some of them haven't ever seen, well, one of them hasn't ever seen playoffs, right? I'm a believer in their teams this year. All they got to do is not mess up, right?
You know, the not mess up, Armando, I think you have significantly more faith in this league than I do.
You got to have faith in some of them, okay? Maybe this is the push that they need, you know, just that faith from their fellow fantasy players, their fellow fantasy managers, and they're just going to get that push, and they're just going to make the right decisions. They're not going to screw up, and I'm not going to look like a fool at the end of the season, okay? So, at number 4, I've got Chell. He got a decent draft. He's got some decent players. Like you said, he's got some monsters, fragile monsters, some glass monsters, but he's got some good ones in there. He can definitely make it to the end. Not sure if he can win it all the way. Maybe he can, but he can definitely make it to playoffs. After him, I have the one and only, the notorious Moy himself, Cracker Cruncher. You know, I have him making it. All he needs to do is just not be Moy for a few months. And just not do what he does so naturally and drop players. I mean, we saw it last season. He suffered 0 consequences for dropping Hyman for nothing. He saw 0 consequences for that. Hyman was washed the entire season. He did not put up the numbers that he did that first season we had this fantasy. And I just feel like maybe it's high time for Moy to come in and do it.
I'm gonna reiterate the thought I had, Armando. You have much more faith in this league than I do. You have much more faith. And by the way, I don't want that to be misconstrued. I would love to see Moy in the playoffs.
Okay.
I think this league needs Moy in the playoffs.
I believe it does too.
The level of unpredictability this guy brings to this league. Now, to see that on the big stage, I would love that.
Imagine there's preseason chaos and now there's playoffs chaos.
Don't get me wrong, Moy. I'm rooting for you hard.
I'm your fan, Moy. You got to do it.
I just have to grade you based on your track record. Okay, that's all I'm saying.
All right. Now, for my final spot, number 6. This guy hasn't made playoffs before. Now, he's got a decent team this time around. Now, he's just got to stick to his guns. It's something he didn't do last season. He didn't stick to his guns. He made some very odd trades, I'll call them. You know, some people say he got robbed. Some people say he got robbed. But, you know, all he's got to do now is just stick to his guns, keep the players he's got to keep, and just make the right moves. And maybe next time not give up his waiver priority. You know, that wasn't a great move. But either way, new start, blank slate. George, I got you on number 6. I think you can do it. You got a good team. You got good players. They got the potential. Now just make the right moves.
Now let me ask you this, Armando.
Yes.
You are predicting for George.
Yes.
Toilet to playoffs.
I've done it before.
Now, you have done it before, but did you do it after trading away a 5th-round pick?
I did not. No. I didn't do that part. Like I said, he got robbed. However, he's got a few hurdles to hop.
A few Tomash hurdles.
Yes, he indeed does. He does have hurdle, doesn't he?
He does.
Yes, he does. He does have hurdle.
Now, George, again, I don't want this to be misconstrued. I would love to see you in playoffs. I genuinely would. Guys, it would look, I think it would be great for the league to see a whole new cast in playoffs.
Oh, yeah.
I think that would be outstanding.
I'm ready for it.
Right? That would be great. again, I just don't have that faith.
I do. I believe. This year I believe. You guys got this.
All right, you heard it here, folks. Now,
Join me and David.
Now, that was all 6, correct?
That's all 6.
All right,
yes, that's all 6
those are
bold.
those are
6,
bold
the
predictions.
Bold 6.
All right. Now, speaking of bold predictions, Armando, we do have Joshua is unfortunately out due to illness. He asked me to ask you what you thought of his illness, since you are a much more qualified biologist than him, but we don't need to worry about that.
I have a few years under my belt.
Yes. However, what we do, we don't want to leave him out completely. And so I did ask Joshua to send me his predictions for playoffs. Okay. So folks, these are Joshua's predictions. Your normal co-host here for Livin La Liga Loca. This is Joshua's predictions for playoffs. He says the finishing with the number 1 seed is Reinhardt and Soul, aka Joshua. Number 2 is the Demodream team, aka yours truly, the champion and commissioner, Kurt.
Okay.
Number 3, he has the House of Kucherov, and he's written in parentheses, big to take whole thing. Which appears to be some primitive form of English.
Why use many word when few word do trick?
Exactly. Why use big word when small word just as good?
Exactly.
Then number 4, he has Cheo, and in parentheses, he writes, I think team name Alphas is a little pretentious. Guy has won nothing, is beta at best. Not being mean, just calling it as I see it. Number 5, he has Mix, nothing in parentheses after that. I would like to see Mix in playoffs again.
I would too.
You know, one thing with Mix and play, he got jobbed last year, man. Got a goalie injury after 1 save.
Yep.
That was
Yep.
brutal.
Yes.
And then for his 6th pick, he has seemingly failed to understand what predictions are, because he has not named someone for a 5th pick. He just says, I think last spot will be a fight amongst most members. It's really anyone's spot. Not Ben's, though. His team and his predictions are trash. I think we can comfortably say that first win was beginner's luck.
Ooh. Some grating words from
our
co-host there.
Yeah, you look at Ben and you say, okay, sure, he won the first year. Sure, he made it to finals his 2nd year.
Second runner
and
up.
only lost to someone who mortgaged 2 seasons, to have the season they had last year. But Joshua does have the participation medal.
He does.
And that is one thing Ben does not have. So you do
Exactly.
wonder if there's a bit of legitimacy to that.
Yes.
There
are accolades to be had, and Ben does not have one of those accolades.
Yeah. And the question, is there legitimacy? And for this reporter, no, there's not.
All right.
Well, moving right along here, folks, for our last segment of the show today, we have our predictions for week 1.
Ooh, yes.
So, Armando, why don't you lead us off here? Why don't you tell the fine folks at home what you see for this week?
Well, I consider it a toss-up. Week 1 is just incredibly unpredictable. We've got so many players who are just coming in from practice. They've been playing on the ice for only a couple months here. We've had a few preseason games, but everybody knows those preseason games are for the rookies. It's for the rookies to go out there and show what they got to try and earn a spot on the team. So this first week, it's quite the toss-up. So it could be anybody's game. Now, there are some matches where it seems to heavily favor the other, but I'm just going to go from top to bottom from whatever order my phone has given me on the app. So the first one it gives me is obviously my own. This week I am up against still better than David Jr., aka Leo. Our current predictions are very darn close. It's a 92.6 for myself and 91.26 for him. He's got 2 more games than I do. However, I believe in my team. He does have Kaprizov, though, who can be a wild cannon. Sometimes he scores a lot of points. Sometimes he scores a lot more than a lot of points.
And sometimes he's injured for 6 months of the season.
After Christmas. It was like the best Christmas present I ever got. It was incredible. I didn't cry. Now, I think that week, I believe in my team. I can take a week 1 win. Now, has it always happened that the guy with the most draft capital wins week 1? No. It hasn't happened before.
No, I mean, last week you talk about the week 1 being unpredictable here. Last year, I contributed one of George's 4 wins in
4
week
regular
one.
season wins.
He had
yes.
4 wins, and one of them was against the eventual champion in week 1.
Goes to show you may have a good team at the start, but your moves, got to control those moves. Alrighty, but I think I can take it. I think I can take that first one. However, it can be a toss-up. I do believe the app is just giving Ovechkin a little bit too much here. It's got him predicted for 10 points, which I think is a bit much for Ovechkin. If he gets it, good job for the old man. He's still got that fire underneath him, but I don't think he can back up those numbers. So I think I have the edge on that one. Now, next up in line, I have the Dema Dream team and Benton's best team. Unfortunately, here you did mortgage your season last time just for that ring, but
Worth it, baby.
He got
Worth
it. He got it.
I'd do it again.
But the consequences are here. You didn't get a very good draft. You got a lot of potential. There's a lot of potential on your team.
You know what they say the number one most wasted resource on earth is?
Is it potential?
It's potential.
Oh, okay.
It is.
Okay. So you're not wasting it. You're putting all of your chips on the line. You're putting all your players out there. You've got a decent group, but Ben has just got a stronger, more solidified group. So I believe Ben's got an easy win this week. It's just the way it goes, unfortunately. If you win, that'd be incredible. Hilariously embarrassing for Ben, but that'd be good for you. You would have no bozo week, unlike our bozo in 5 of last year, Willie and the boys.
Now I have to tell you, I've been thinking, man, I'm going to have a lot of bozo weeks here. But then I will say it did occur to me earlier today. I will actually have 0 bozo weeks.
Why is that?
Because if you roll the tape back from last season, what made Jason a bozo was not starting out the season winless. What made Jason a bozo was mortgaging a season to not win a ring.
That is true. That is true.
So you can call me a bozo. I call myself a champion.
All right. You got the ring to back it up, and Jason has neither. All righty. So speaking of Jason, his match is next. It's got Willie and the boys and Right Heart and Soul, a.k.a. Joshua. This one, also kind of a toss-up. Jason's got a good group of guys. He didn't have as much draft capital as Joshua, who didn't sell his first rounder to not win again. But like I said, first week is very unpredictable. Jason could take it. Joshua could take it. But I think I lean on the projections this time. I think Joshua takes his first week since it's 102 versus 95.
It is one of the bigger gaps
Yes.
in week 1, right?
Yes.
Not the biggest, not even really close to the biggest, but it's on the bigger end.
Yes, it is on the larger end. So I think Joshua takes that one. Moving right along, we got the Alphas and Gretzky's Ghost. Now, I'm not sure if that name will come back to haunt him, but
Chills.
Gretzky was never really a good manager. I'm not sure if George knew that. But, maybe he's going to change that image of Gretzky. Maybe he's going to manage better than he did. Hopefully. I believe.
Some reporters call that doubtful.
I believe. So in this week, Alphas are actually the underdog. He's got 81 and Gretzky's Ghost has 96. Now, this isn't really due to the fact that either one has better players. It's just Chell has been given kind of a bad hand with games this week. He's only got 27 and George has a whopping 31.
And that's part of what makes week 1 so unpredictable. Mm-hmm. They start on Tuesday. The Rangers, for some reason, play 4 games. They're the only team that does that. And then every other team plays 2 or 3.
2 or 3.
Yeah.
So if you've got Rangers players, congratulations. You've got plenty of games this week. All right, moving right along. We've got my main opponent of this season, all for the Big Mac. Team. Oh. No. All for the Big Mac, which is David. By the way, David, you still have Ovechkin's jersey on that one. I'm not sure if that's on purpose or not, but
he's a strange man, that lesser David.
The machinations of his mind
just
are
an
enigma.
He's gonna zig, he zags.
Exactly, or just go straight like a weirdo. Alrighty, so in that week, it's quite heavy as to who's gonna win there. I don't really think Mix has a chance now with the monsters David has on his team, healthy monsters. I think David takes that first week easily. Pretty easy matchup for him. And then final matchup, we have Cracker Cruncher and Hey Macarena. Mr. Macarena, you don't have Macar. Change your name, please.
It's got to be Hey Quinarena.
Or maybe it's going to be
Hughes-arena.
Hey Malatesta. Who the hell is Malatesta? David, actually, when I upload this video, can you just put it in the comments as like your your train of thought to pick up James Malatesta.
Or the group chat. I'll take literally
Just
anything.
any sort of explanation.
I need to know.
I have done my
how
research on this guy.
happened.
I don't know who he is. I don't know what he does. He played 2 games last year and got 1 block.
He played 11 games this season before. I was looking into him today.
Yes.
We're gonna if David doesn't respond to this, we're gonna maybe have a segment on an upcoming episode. Some real hard hitting investigative journalism. Who is James Malatesta?
And why did Mr. Macarena pick him up?
And is it even pronounced Malatesta? Are we even sure about that?
I don't know. He's 1,006 in rank. I don't think it matters how we pronounce his name at this point. And not only that, but he's not active.
Because frankly, I'm not even sure that NHL broadcasters are going to be pronouncing his name this season.
He's listed under the Columbus Blue Jackets.
He's
not in their roster.
Okay, now the thing is too, David, I gotta know, better David, I gotta know, because I don't even think he was a 16th round pick.
He was a 14th round pick, 9th overall.
Yeah, 14th round pick. That means there were 2 rounds to go. And David was like, hold on, well, who's that?
Who's that guy at the bottom of the barrel?
Who's that way down? Oh, James Malatesta, draft.
He's got a clue in. I need to know.
David, please.
I need to know.
Please, this is a cry for help.
Tell us your secrets. Tell us your secrets.
The
Tell us what
people
we don't
demand
know.
Answers.
Tell us what we don't know.
David, this is a Livin, La Liga, Loca offer right now. We will interview you on this show next week.
With the
you will
new mics.
Explain James Malatesta to us.
Please explain him.
Please.
Please. We beg of thee. It vexed me so why you picked him. Anyways, funny enough, I think David takes it. He's got Malatesta on the bench, okay? Like, it's not going to affect his game, but I think David takes it.
David. Oh, no, he won't hear this episode before the... We're recording this on the eve of the season as the crow flies.
Monday.
And, so unfortunately, you will not see this before... I think Linus might already be locked, actually. Or they'll lock tomorrow. Either way, he won't hear it. I was going to say, if he would put in...
They are not locked in.
If he would put in Malatesta and win with Malatesta, I don't know what I would give him.
I don't see how you would win
something.
if he's not available.
I would give him something.
Not in the lineup.
I'm saying, if he managed to win his
not on
week
daily face-off.
with David, please, come on the show. Please.
Like, was it an accident? Explain yourself, please. Please.
And he hasn't dropped him either. That's the thing. He's holding
like,
on
held
to him.
on to him. There's several players out there that he could pick up and drop Malatesta for. I don't know what he's doing. Maybe it's a good luck charm. I don't know. Voodoo? I don't know. The mysteries abound. All right, so those are my predictions. I will then hand this off to you to see your predictions of the week.
I'll run through.
I think I've said enough.
I'll run through this quickly. I think there's a lot of crossover here. So start with the Dema Dream team and Benton's best team. Not much to talk about here. I mortgaged my entire season for this ring that I'm wearing right now, so I'll give this one to Ben. I think that's pretty fair. Next, I'm gonna go for all for Big Mac and Mix's matchless team. Mix, I am sorry. I just don't think that there's much hope this week for you.
Yeah.
Sorry, my guy.
It's a rough matchup.
Maybe when you play me, you'll have better luck, but not David. Now the next one I see here is the Alphas and Gretzky's Ghost. And as you know, I predicted Cheo to make playoffs and not George.
Right.
And I stand by that. However, I think this week, like you mentioned, the games are just not in Cheo's favor, and that happens week 1. It's not a big deal. You know, he's going to lose, but he'll come back. It's all right.
Yes.
Week 1 doesn't matter. Now, the Cracker Cruncher and Hey Hughes Arena. Hey Malatestarena.
Malatesta. Oh my God. Just gets worse.
Yeah, so Hey Malatestarena. That one's tight.
Yeah.
That one's tight.
It is close.
I do see that Moy made the very good choice, good decision to swap Mikko Rantanen off the bench and put him back in. So that is an improvement over
and put
yesterday's
Shane
lineup.
where he belongs, on the bench.
Yeah. So you know what? I'm gonna give it to Moy. I'm gonna give this one to Moy.
Though he doesn't seem to be able to make up his mind whether he wants Celebrini or Trocheck on the center spot, but
Probably want Trocheck since he has 4 games for some reason. But you know, who's to say? Yeah. Now Reinhardt and Soul versus Willie and the boys. Now this to me is the perfect example of what makes Jason a good manager in fantasy hockey, and that is I do not believe that Jason is good at drafting.
Oh,
I don't think I've
bold
seen
statement.
I don't think I've seen the draft where Jason has done well. I haven't seen the draft where you look at his team and you're like, wow, Jason nailed that draft. That is not Jason's strength as a manager. Jason's strength as a manager is,
Robbing people in trades.
we used to call, David the vulture.
Right.
But really, Jason's the vulture. Jason
There are vultures and there are snakes.
Jason has an unbelievable knack for finding the weak one in a herd and dragging that down, right? And so he does things like, oh, who's that? What do I smell? Oh, it's Darlene. It's Darlene. Here, how about some Jacob Truba
on the Ducks.
right? Oh, who's that? Oh, it's Roman Yossi. How about Jonathan Marchessault? Right? That's what he's good at. Jason is wheeling and dealing, man. That's what he's good at. He can start with a dog of a team. We saw that last year. He can start with a dog of a team, and by the end of the year, he's making
David
a
who digs him
legitimate-
out.
Gets a David that digs him out. He makes a legitimate run, in the playoffs. He really does. So that's where Jason's strength lies, right? So this is the perfect example. I think Joshua walks away with this win. I think he does because Joshua had a great draft.
Yeah,
No
very
one seems
decent
to be
draft.
talking about it, but I swear he had one of the better drafts on draft night. So
I mean,
I
he's
think
got Van
Joshua-
Riemsdyk.
I think Joshua wins this. He has Van Riemsdyk indeed. But I think that maybe by the next time they play, I think Jason might have the upper hand on him.
I mean, if he gets
Right.
the right trades.
Yeah. Now, here's the last prediction. I saved this for last for a reason, and that is still better than David Jr. versus the House of Kucherov.
Oof.
My fill-in co-host here. All right. Now, I'm going to give you my honest take on this. I think you lose this week.
You think so?
I think you lose this week, but I
fair.
don't think it means anything.
Neither do
I
I.
think you
Like I said,
lose-
it's a toss-up.
I think you lose this week, and then I think you go on a tear.
I hope
I think
so.
you go on an
I hope
absolute
so.
tear. It's if you look at the number of games that people have this week, you are the very, very lowest in number of games.
I am.
No
I
one
truly
has
am.
fewer games than you.
26.
And yet you are projected to beat almost half of the league this week in scoring. And so
That's the Kucherov effect.
that's the Kucherov effect. And so you could win. It's a toss-up. But I just a gut feeling, I'm giving it to Leo. But
All right.
again, I think by the end of the season, you're sitting in that number 1 seed.
In that bye week. 1 or 2. It doesn't really matter as long as I get a bye week.
Yeah. But those are our predictions. You let us know in the comments below how correct we were. Because
Or hit
we
us with
are
your own
correct.
predictions. We're open to those as well.
This is great. This is great to be back. We got new mics. We've got a new set. Livin La Liga Loca. Bigger, better.
Newer, sponsored.
Sponsored by this guy right here. So, for Livin La Liga Loca, I'm Kurt.
And I'm Armando.
Have a great day.